One. Okay, we are going to talk about how to do Follistim because this is a frequently asked and confusing medication. So Follistim comes with a pen and also these little vials that are in little gray boxes, okay, and then the needles. I order the vials as 300 unit vials, and the reason why I do that is because there is extra in each one. You're getting like $100 worth of free medication in each vial. So I'm saving you a lot of money over the course of your cycle by ordering it that way, but in order to get that extra medication out of the vial, you have to do something that a lot of people find confusing. So let's talk about this, okay? So what you're gonna do is take one of these vials out of the gray box. These are refrigerated, however, they are stable at room temperature for up to 30 days. So don't freak out if yours gets to room temperature. You can use it over the next few days and not have to worry about, you don't have to keep it refrigerated as long as you're using it in that particular cycle. So you're gonna take out it's still a good idea to put it back in the refrigerator when you're done, but just so you know, not to totally worry so much about it. Take off the cap of the pen, unscrew the yellow part of the pen, put your vial of medicine down into here, okay? That's really important. Sometimes people put it in upside down. So the medication part is down, and then you put this back on and screw it on, okay? So now what you do is you take off the paper and you put a needle on here, and let's say, so your dose might be 75, 150, 225, or 300, okay? Doesn't matter what your dose is. What you're gonna do is dial up to your dose with this thing, okay? Couple of things about Follistim. One is that you can't dial backwards. So if you overshoot your dose, you have to actually go all the way out to the end. It's gonna release, and then you're gonna push it back in again. The other thing is that this is like cooking. It doesn't have to be exact. If you're over or under by a few units, it doesn't matter, you haven't hurt yourself. So what we're gonna do is, let's pretend we're doing a dose of 150 units. Actually, let's do 225 because that one confuses people a lot. So I dialed up to 225, okay? Now you've learned how to give yourself this medication. You take off the cap of this, you take off this little cap, you pinch your skin, you inject subcutaneously, holding this like a dart with your thumb on here. You take off this cap, sink this needle into your skin, and push this. Now, this is gonna make a clicking noise as it pushes the medicine out, okay? Now, on the first night of your medication, you give yourself 225, and that's a full dose. That makes sense. Also, similarly, if your dose is 300, you give yourself a full dose. If your dose is 150, you're gonna do this twice, you'll give yourself a full dose. So those things make sense mathematically, correct? Let's talk about the second night of your medication, which is what makes people confused. So the way that you're gonna make sure that you get all of the medicine out of here is actually, you're gonna go ahead, now I'm just going back to normal, okay? So now let's pretend we're on our second night of our medication. We've already used 225 units of our medicine. You might think there's only 75 units left, but there's actually a lot more than that. There's somewhere in the range of 175 probably, or maybe even a little bit more. So what you're gonna do is go ahead and dial up to 225 on that second night, just like usual. You're gonna go ahead and give yourself your shot. What is going to happen is that when this cartridge is empty, your plunger's going to stop, and you're not going to be able to push it anymore. When this thing stops, you take a look at it, it doesn't say 0. That means you have not given yourself your full dose of medication. So what you're gonna do is take off your needle, put it in your sharps container, unscrew. Now, this is now empty. We have made sure that we've emptied it because we have gone all the way to 0 on that second dose. We can confidently throw this away and know that we have not actually wasted any medication. And if you look here, as long as I don't push this down, this plunger stays where I left it. What you can do now is put a brand new cartridge in here. As long as you don't push this plunger, hold your thing like this, put this in, and now it's still at the remainder of my dose. What I'm gonna do is put a new needle on here and give myself a second injection. You don't have to do any math. Basically, I call this round robin. I don't know if I'm saying it right, but basically what you're doing is giving yourself, you're just using these until they're done. Use it till it's done, and then put the next one in. So your goal here is to make sure that any night that this does not go to 0, you need to give yourself a second shot. Any night that it does go to 0, you have given yourself your full dose. That's it.